Danica, I hope you're not too uncomfortable tonight. I know you're not used to being this close to the front.
Better of him. She moves Truex out of the way and takes that spot.
I'm looking at 2,000 people laughing their eyes at it. We just have Danica going, no, that wasn't funny at all.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Todd Brown, That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this pit stop segment. I had originally had a plan of doing an episode this week about Danica Patrick with her events that happened to her at Burning Man. Now, obviously, she's come up in the news here this week, especially with yesterday, with comments that she made replying to the statement issued by Martin Truex following the passing of his longtime love, Sherry Pollex, unfortunately passed away to cancer. First off, I just want to say my condolences to the family and friends of Sherry Pollex. It's something that's really hard to deal with. And I had battled with whether I wanted to do anything on this itself. But if you notice, if you follow my show, I haven't been on here in a couple weeks. And that's because I've been dealing with the sudden passing from a heart attack of my own brother 2 weeks ago today. And prior to that, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, she passed away last July after a long battle with cancer. So it's something that I've dealt with firsthand. And I know how it is. And I just know how hard it is and things that can be said and done. And Danica's issues were with the statements of Martin saying it wasn't heartfelt, that it was a PR person that did it. And I have no way of knowing whether that was what actually happened. But I can say that in times like this, it's really hard to put words together. It's hard to do things. And in the NASCAR industry, so many people have PR people who write things for them. But it's still things that they feel. You know, sometimes it is just something that needs to be said to solidify a situation. But this was love between two people. Because if you knew either one of them or followed them, you know, they laughed together, they cried together, they won together, and they lost together. And that's something that they did for nearly 2 decades. And that's something that just doesn't dissolve. Even though their relationship, as far as being partners, wasn't there at the end the way it was before, it doesn't dissolve the love that he had for her and her for him. So I think this timing of these statements was really crazy to do. So first of all, I want to read, give you the first announcements or first statements that Danica made after the passing of Sherry.
This is so sad. She helped so many and gave so much. After I left NASCAR, we touched base here and there, and I loved her curiosity for the deeper layers of this human experience. I hope she is in one of those layers that is perfect, pure, peaceful, and whole.
Now, those were obviously her heartfelt words. And again, I'm not here to defend or put down anybody involved in this situation. But again, she didn't like what Martin had to say. So let's take a look at the words that come from Martin Truex in a statement.
From the very minute of her diagnosis, Sherry was determined to not only fight ovarian cancer with everything she had, but also make a difference in the lives of others battling this terrible disease. Sherry's passion for making a difference in the lives of others was inspiring to everyone. Through her tireless charity work for so many years, her legacy will live well beyond our lifetimes and continue to help countless families who are battling ovarian and childhood cancer.
Now, following that, this is where Danica made her statement yesterday on social media, where she condemned the words of what Martin had said, saying that, again, that it was a PR person that wrote it. It wasn't heartfelt. It was cold. She also said she don't like to post negativity, but again, in this situation with the times of what's happening, not really the time to be doing anything like this. So let's take a look at the words of Danica Patrick.
I avoid negativity on social at almost all costs, but this is the most insensitive, disconnected statement from a guy that I have never liked, and obviously for good reason.
So a lot of fans have been weighing in on this. A lot of people got a lot of things to say about this. Me personally, I just want to say I don't think this was the time to issue a statement like this, especially publicly. I don't even think it would be a time to address a person personally about something like this. Because as I say, going through this myself, now twice in the last couple years here, or year, it's something that, you deal with your grief in so many ways. And maybe this was just a grief-stricken Danica that made these comments without thinking really, and maybe she'll retract this and come out with some other kind of a statement. But I don't think this is a time to do something like this because it distracts from what Sherry Pollex family and friends are going through. It's something that you just want to deal with your own stuff at the time. You don't need these distractions. So I think it was a very selfish, vanity thing to do, to put out to your followers and supporters. And that brings me to the other part of this, because there are a lot of people who look up to Martin and Sherry through their organizations. If you're not familiar with them, I'm going to put the links down here through sherrystrong.org and the Martin Truex Foundation.org. They did so much for cancer research, for ovarian cancer and childhood cancer. And a lot of this, involved childhood stuff. And there's a lot of kids that look up to both of them. And by Danica making a statement like this, it could tarnish the image of Martin to some of these children. And for Danica, who knows herself, she is somebody who has been, somebody that young women looked up to, still do look up to. And for her to be in a position and on the platform she is to try to tarnish the image of Martin in a situation like this, I don't agree with that, because these kids need to form their own opinions on what's going on with this. And I just want to take a brief moment here just to show you what these two together, Martin and Sherry, did to help and be part of other people's lives. And through the Martin Truex Foundation and Sherry Strong, they gave $1.2 million to the Children's Emergency Department at Novant Health in Huntersville, and the Sherry Strong Integrative Medicine Oncology Clinic at Novant Health Presbyterian, Maine in Charlotte. And they gave $750,000 to integrative medicine programs at Levine Cancer Institute and childhood cancer programs at Levine's Children's Hospital. $4.5 million raised through the Catwalk for a Cause. And this is something that just took place. And this is something that obviously involved a lot of other NASCAR names and personalities, children, just so much there that went to cancer initiatives. And outside of that, they had just recently started with the Karting for Cancer, which raised $130,000. And all this stuff, their unity was to try to help cancer research and cancer patients in so many ways. And it's not a time to tarnish any of that image or anything else, because so many people are in the mix of this. And again, I don't agree with Danica's comments. I'm not here to put her down in any way. The part about her saying that she never liked Martin, I can say personally, if you follow my channel, I'm in the acting and film business and everything else. I've worked with both of these people, and I can say that Martin Truex, Martin's always been a great guy. Again, if you follow my channel, I've done his double work I did his double work for many years, and stunt work and so forth. And I also worked with Danica through Coca-Cola, because I was also Daniel Suarez's body double. And so I did all the Coca-Cola shoots when Danica was part of it, and also did some other shoots outside of that, like Aspen Dental. And Danica was nice to me, but there was a lot of people on sets who just weren't looking forward to the day when Danica was on set. And again, that's not nothing to put her down, but I never saw that out of Martin when he was on set. Everybody enjoyed being around him. So, again, I'm not trying to form an opinion for anybody else. Again, I don't think this was time to talk about anything like this. And I hope everybody goes to the foundation links and gets more aware and involved with what these two had started, because that's the legacy that Sherry Pollex deserves to have for an eternity. Now I'm going to move on to the other part that I was originally going to do about Danica. If you're still here, still want to check this out, let's take a look. Now, Danica Patrick is undoubtedly a public figure, very notable figure, mainly for her racing through IndyCar and NASCAR, also the big affiliation she had with GoDaddy for so many years. But since her leaving of the NASCAR series, she's into a lot of other things, including her wine business. She's very much into fitness and the things she does with that. She also has a podcast called Pretty Intense, where she has some pretty intense guests. I guess that's probably where most of it comes from. But people talk about aliens and past life regression and different topics. Aren't quite my cup of tea there, but things that she likes to talk about, obviously. One of the other things that she's got into over the last couple of years has been going to the Burning Man Festival in Nevada. Now, if you're not familiar with the Burning Man Festival, this is a festival that takes place in Nevada's Black Rock Desert. It's where they build a temporary city, and there's no money exchange. It's all an emphasis on self-reliance and trading goods. And at the end of it, they burn a ceremonial sculpture of a man. Now, last year she started going, and she had quotes about being there, like that Burning Man is like nothing you've ever seen. She said that she danced her ass off through the event and partied up till 7:30 a.m. Past my bedtime, but hey, to each their own. But she wore a collection of these sultry and skin-bearing outfits to it in 2022. And as you can see here, pretty wild outdoor festival in the desert. Obviously, a lot of wind and sand and everything else. But they have a champagne room where she'd bring in her wine to interact with other people there. But last year, it took her 12 hours to get to the airport following the festival. It took her 6 hours just to get out of the festival itself. And this year was no different, because this year the festival was hit with heavy rains over the Friday and Saturday period, which this is desert. This is just dry land out there, everything else, but it caused this really muddy, swampy conditions. All the roads around there were flooded. It's not funny, but there was like 70,000 people there this year that all were stuck there trying to get out. Some of the people that included, even actor-comedian Chris Rock was stuck there. There was some video of him riding in the back of a truck trying to get out of there. Again, not funny, but I guess it's part of the experience for what it's worth. And but this year, Danica went again, and again she was in her outfits, the creative outfits that she brought along with it, and was in the kitchen, cooking, doing different things. So she's very much a part of this culture and things that are going on there. Obviously, she's not the same Danica that she was in racing days. It's something that's transformed with her and everything else. But this year, she got stuck there again, but this time it was in the mud. And they got stuck 3 different times trying to get out. And it took them over 4 hours just to get to pavement to get out of there. And like I say, once again, it's not a funny situation. But, you know, you put yourself in these positions, things like this happen. Obviously, something that she enjoys now. And I just think there's a different Danica Patrick out there now than what we're used to. Now, obviously, this week with a lot of comments, a lot of people were saying, you know, this is why they never liked Danica Patrick. There's different things. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of group she's with or what she's trying to establish in her life now that she's in her 40s. But interesting stuff that I just wanted to share here with you. And again, I want to put the focus of this episode again on the passing of Sherry Pollex. My condolences to the family, and I hope the best for all involved with it. Now, I always love your comments on everything that we talk about here. Obviously, this wasn't just racing related today. Just wanted to mix it up and do a little bit something different. So I shortened this little thing about the Burning Man, but I want your comments about how you feel about everything, good or bad, because that's what we're here to do, is talk racing and just discuss stuff. And I always love to talk all these things with you. But anyways, once again, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. And, man, such a beautiful soul lost. So our hearts are with you. But anyways, hope everybody out there is having a great day. If you've not subscribed to this channel, you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, and keep up with what we got going on. And as always, have a great day, and we'll see you at the checkered flag.
I really thought that the person he wanted to win it most for was his team. Because, and I know that he does. I mean, they've just done so much for him. And in 2014, they couldn't get out of their own way. And now they've just, you know, they're at the top. And I knew that it was so important to him to win it for them, and for Barney Visser, and for all the things you talked about, the deaths that they've had, and for Johnny Morris for supporting him, and Bass Pro, and everything that they've done throughout his career. They've been with him since the beginning. But to hear him say that he wanted to partly win it for me, or wanted to win it for me, is too overwhelming of an emotion for me to even think about. You know, I'm humbled for him to say that. I hope that I inspire him every day, because I do fight like hell every day, and I want to be here to celebrate with him 10, 20 years down the road. But none of us know what tomorrow's going to bring, and none of us know how long we're going to be here. So we're going to live every day like it's the last, and enjoy every damn minute of it.